to Lime City Road, with the thought that Northwestern Water and Sewer District's going to extend that water line up to State Route 795 to provide for a new water connection into the crossroads. So while this is being constructed, along comes new businesses. Matter of fact, one company's already bought their property there, about 40 acres, I think, next to Amazon. They're planning on building, they tell us, starting next year. And Mr. Audette, I think wisely, is putting in an access plan for all of this area so that we maximize our traffic pattern. Because we don't think it's going to be, we think it's going to be trucks coming in and out of there, not minivans. And by design, we're trying to design that so that those trucks have a way to access 795 and connect themselves to either the Turnpike or Interstate 75, trying to avoid the congestion there on Route 20. So with that company coming in, there on Dimeling Road, there's going to be one access point coming from the south. This company, again, is immediately adjacent to Amazon. So coming from the south, there'll be one access point. And Mr. Audette has recommended, and I concur with him, that a roundabout should be put there. So that would benefit both this existing building, or the building that's planned now, or being planned, as well as the adjacent property immediate to the east. Additionally, there's about 27 acres north of this that will be developed. Matter of fact, is now in the final stages of being analyzed for development right now. So if you see that map there, that X, let's say in the middle, that's the roundabout I'm talking about right there. There will be a road, a public road, going from that X south that will provide for the access point for both of those properties, as well as probably the property to the south of that, which is still in the township. So that's roundabout, let's call that roundabout 1. If you go then further east to the Lime City Road intersection, there's a roundabout Mr. Audette has planned for that. Again, none of these were planned at the time because they probably weren't going to be necessary just to serve Amazon, but with this increased development, those roundabouts will certainly be necessary. Now, whether do you build them now or do you build them next year? That's your question. Can you wait a year? Well, we know a year from now it'll be certainly more costly. Our estimates here from Nagel are about, I think, 540,000 on one and 560,000 on another, about 1.1 million. They tell me, and you probably know this better than I, Caroline, but they tell me a roundabout's about $1 million to $1.5 million, depending. So essentially, you're getting two roundabouts here for the price of one, and the reason for that is you have a great contractor there who's already mobilized. They're already here. The intersection they've got to do there at Lime City Road and Dimeling, they got to do anyway. So it's enhancing that, not replacing that. So that's why it's a little bit less money. So that's the question. For me, a guy who travels that Lime City Road at least twice a day, sometimes multiple times a day, depending on my grandchildren's needs at the time, I'd like to see this done once and leave the area, right? So we don't put construction signs out there now, because we're going to disrupt people. We're disrupting them now, and we'll disrupt them again if we have to do those roundabouts down the road. So I would encourage you to favorably consider this. Again, Nagel Construction has been exceptional on this project, I would have to say. We have a lot of issues other than your passage of this ordinance. We have issues with Toledo Edison. We got to ramp their schedule up to get poles moved to make this happen. We have to get the EDA to we're trying to find other funding to soften the blow for you, because we may have some EDA money left over from this project. We'd like to use some of that here if we can. So we have a lot of moving parts, but we don't get out of the blocks here if the city doesn't own this from the get-go. Happy to answer any questions you have on this, but
I don't have a question. I just think if we do it, we should do it right the first time.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's also an improvement that helps us with speed to market, because it's an improvement we won't have to do in the future and we won't have to find the money for.
You can see when you go, you drive down 795 and go south through the crossroads, and then turn right on 20 and about half a mile down, you're at a dead stop and you crawl the rest of the way. Projects like this is why it doesn't happen here in Rossford, because we plan ahead. We've got Mr. Ardette has wonderful foresight to see that, hey, let's do this now, and knows construction well enough to know that if we add it onto an existing project, it'll be cheaper, so I think it's a good idea.
Mr. Marquette?
I love everything about what you're presenting to us. The one concern I have, and you didn't mention it, is the way our fire response has been, depend a lot on the township. So if they're coming down Lime City and that's torn up, putting a roundabout in, that's gonna kind of put a wrench into the mix, you know what I
It
mean?
will, but remember, that intersection's gonna be torn up here, this summer anyway. The timing of this is gonna be this probably now. We'd hope to have this all done. Matter of fact, the EDA portion of this, the federal funded portion of this that I described earlier, it's gotta be done by the end of the year. So we're gonna do all that. The thought is we're gonna probably not make it, to get this all finally paved by, the middle to the end of October, and that's when they stop mixing this special type of asphalt that Mr. Audette wants there. It's a little heavier duty for truck traffic. So they'll probably have to come back and repave or pave that in the spring. But our goal is to try to minimize all that, fully aware that this impacts the township. One of the things that's happened through the last months anyway, and I think it's you can give a lot of credit here to your city administrator and Mr. Audette, and then the new administrator in Perrysburg Township. John Eckel, who's their new administrator, he's at every one of our meetings, and he's fully aware of all this. He takes that all back to their folks, so there's communication for all this, which is the secret, is critical, and I think we'll minimize that. Will it be impactful? Yeah. But
I just want to make sure that that those services can make it into Rossville, and without losing too much time.
I think that's part of the plan.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'll move to
Go
suspend.
ahead, Caroline.
I was gonna move to suspend second, third reading.
Second.
Okay. Anyone in the audience have a problem with us passing this evening, or any questions in regards to it? No.
All in favor of suspending with the second and third reading, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move to declare an emergency.
Second.
All those in favor of declaring an emergency, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move adoption.
Second.
Vote on the motion to adopt 2023-46. Eckel,
Aye.
Marquette,
Aye.
Heben.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Toth.
Aye.
Introduction of resolutions? Okay. Council remarks. Mr. Toth.
I have nothing today, Mr. Mayor.
Mrs. Eckel.
It's good to see all the good stuff happening with the police department. I know I've seen that video a couple times. It's pretty cool, and it's good to have him here and recognize him. And he was just here to be sworn in not that long ago, too, correct?
And Officer of the Year.
Yes, right, yes. Yeah, we've seen him
Yeah.
quite a lot.
He's a frequent flyer in
Yep,
council chambers.
Yep, so, I love it, because he brings the cute kids, so that's pretty impressive. And then, Safety Town's always fun, and Officer Jody and Wes do good jobs, so. Do we want to suspend the second council meeting in July?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor of suspending with the July 24th council meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You're going to do the first meeting in August then?
Yes. So suspend with the committee of the whole for August, right?
You can do that too?
So
What-
moved.
Yeah.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor of suspending with the August committee of the whole meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And then do we suspend with the second August council meeting now, or do we wait?
Either way.
Let's suspend with it.
So moved.
Second.
Twist my arm.
All those in favor of suspending with the second council meeting in August, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Anything else you need me to move for?
No.
Okay.
We're good.
Good?
Yep.
Mr. Marquette?
I'm good, thank you.
Right. Mr. Heben?
Happy birthday, Councilman Toth.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I missed that.
Big 4-0.
Yeah.
That that video and the way that he performed, the first time I ever watched that video, I got goosebumps. I mean, such courage. So congratulations. Great job. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Ms. Reynolds?
Nothing for me.
Okay, audience remarks, please keep your remarks to 2 minutes if you have any. All right, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
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 Any opposed?